Welcome to, actually, welcome everyone.
Welcome to a new episode of.
New Call Podcast.
But yeah, there's quite a bit to talk about.
It's been kind of crazy what's been going on. I think, I
Oh
imagine.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, I think. Oh.
Um,
But you lead the
Obviously,
charge on this. What do you think is the biggest standout story you would like to mention?
we lost a legend.
Yeah, we did lose a legend. That's true.
We lost a legend. Uh, Actually, like in fact, yesterday when I was like, man, I was low energy, and that's because of that, man. I'm not gonna lie.
It was a shock because I was thinking to myself, he was well. I mean, we don't need to clarify, but it's
Relatively young.
he's yeah, 68. I was thinking to myself, like, man, why? People always used to say like, "Oh, the Japanese live a long time," but he died
Yeah,
pretty
but
young.
he died from something I've seen claim a lot of people,
Yeah,
right? And it's something that I think it claimed a Disney star not that long ago, maybe like 5 or 6 years ago.
yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it could just like happen in your sleep, and it's almost like it's hard to describe it, but like it's almost like a ticking time bomb,
Hmm.
right? And it could just happen one day.
Do you think stress or other things can induce it?
Uh, Nah, it's one of those things where sometimes it just kind of happens and you're not really aware of it. Like I said, it's something where I've seen like someone like super young get claimed by it, people in their 30s get claimed by it. It's just like one of those things that just like one day,
It hits you.
yeah, and it could be like immediate.
It's weird because like in terms of others' deaths, this one kind of hits differently because like I'm thinking to myself like I mean we all grew up with DBZ, right? Uh,
Yeah,
his videos were something special to well a lot of not videos. I mean his manga, his creation, his universe was something special, right?
yeah, that was kind of the thing too. Is like when I saw the message, right? Because like I saw your message, it was like, oh shit, and I was sad. And then the next day, I'm looking at all the tributes and everything people are saying, all that stuff, and I'm just like, damn. And then you're going down like memory lane, and you're thinking about like, oh man, I remember this, I remember that, or yeah, and it's yeah, no, he's definitely impacted a lot of people's lives. Um, his work has done a lot for people in many positive ways. So it was sad to see him go.
It's just a surprise to me because I think to myself like when I first saw the news, I was in denial for a second. I was like, no, there's no way, right?
Yeah, it's crazy too because like I was talking to my girlfriend. I was like, man, it's like every year. It's like there was Mura, then it's me. Wait 1 second.
Yeah.
Suzuki, the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh. He died from a drowning, and then uh
That one was
Kagashi.
special. That one was actually kind of crazy because
Didn't he
he
drown trying to save someone?
he saved yeah he tried save I think he did save them because like we ain't gonna take that away from him. Yeah, he risked his life to save others to for like I think when I was like snorkeling or like diving or something like that, and
Hmm.
he risked his life to save them. So in my opinion, that man died a hero.
Yeah.
You know, he was a real one. Simple as that.
Yeah, it's just kind of like crazy because it's just like one day and it's just like um yeah, it's just like year after year after year. And then you get people who are like trying to like talk down on them, and it's like, oh no, it's just so weird.
Yeah, I feel that, man.
Yeah, like yeah, like what would you say are some of your like best memories with like some of his stuff?
I think it's just the fact that his work was kind of a seminal work in terms of anime and manga, and it was probably one of the first works I could definitively point to, other than like Pokemon,
Mm.
for like how important it was to me. And like I think DBZ was like a favorite show of mine as a child, right?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. For me, I remember I had like a bedtime, right?
Hmm.
And I at that because like so what happened was my aunt was like living with us and her two
Yeah.
kids, right? My cousins, and she wanted us all to go to sleep at the same time. And I convinced her that like yeah, let me stay up, right? Obviously, I also asked my mom, and I was okay, but I was allowed to like stay up so I could watch Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. So what would happen is like I would watch Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and then I would go to bed. But before going to bed, obviously, I would have to do my good night prayers because, like, obviously, Christian household, and
I,
and I'll just be like rethinking the episode. I was like, oh man, like, yeah. And then you remember like yo when you're a kid and Goku does the spirit bomb and you're standing up, you're putting your hands up in the air.
you believe in?
Yo, man, that's how it was. That's how it was. Uh, I would say another memory too for me was me and my cousin. We used to make like our own comics. You would grab like a bunch of paper and then just get a stapler and then write a cover and we'd always draw like Sonic and Dragon Ball comics or yeah, stuff like that. And it was funny too because like obviously we're just kids, but we just read them and just at least laugh at them. But yeah, he definitely inspired a lot of people, creatively, morally too. I know a lot of people who, fitness journey or a lot of their ideologies come from like, Goku. What would Goku do or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
I think, it's hard to explain the influence, but it's everywhere.
yeah, yeah. One random thing was for some reason in my bathroom as a kid there was like a Pikachu not Pikachu, a Piccolo figure. It was like a gray Piccolo figure, like right above my toilet, and it was there for years, and I do not know why. I don't even know when I got it, but it was there for years, probably like a good like 6 or 7 years, just like in my bathroom.
Hmm.
So yeah,
I think
but
one
yeah,
thing about it was me is like I really like the cast of DBZ a lot. The cast ironically meant more to me than just a lot of other things, right?
yeah. I mean, if you're someone who watched Dragon Ball and then Dragon Ball Z, or even just Dragon Ball and GT, obviously you see Goku growing up. You see Goku having his own kids. You see his kids grow up. You see, enemies turn into friends like King Piccolo and Piccolo, and then Yamcha at one point, Vegeta, right? So you see a lot of that. Um, some of the most hype battles of you know. So yeah, no, I think uh, yeah, the cast is definitely extremely memorable, right? You got Piccolo, who's Gohan's dad, and
Real dad.
real bad. But yeah, but yeah.
Oh
No,
man,
we lost a legend.
we did lose a legend, right? I mean, his work just exists beyond DBZ. Like his art style, his design, his aesthetic, right?
Oh
It's
yeah,
people forget that like very few people have read the Dragon Ball manga, but like like Dragon Ball had a nice look to it. Like his panels, everything he laid out. He was a phenomenal artist too.
yeah. There, someone was posting something about like Doctor Slump, and it was like I think after Doctor Slump ended, he had like a note at the bottom that said, "See you next time in Dragon Ball if it comes out." And then there was like a thing in brackets like, looks like it did come out" or something.
You know, you get the image that the dude was kind of positive. He seemed like a chill dude. You know, I mean, I
Oh
think
yeah,
most mangaka I think are pretty chill, but like he definitely had a friendlier vibe than most.
oh yeah, well, yeah,
Because
no,
that's the impression I frequently get from him.
yeah, yeah. Um, Yeah, and like they said with his like passing, he was still actively working. He said he had a lot of projects still under um that he was working on. Um and I don't know. It it does suck, but yeah.
Man, I don't know. It's just it's just a shock to me. I mean, I didn't expect it to be like this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you always have this image that these guys are gonna be around for a while, but then when they do die, it's like, wow. I mean, people do die. It's a surprise, but like, I mean, it shouldn't be that big of a surprise. But like, I mean, I guess it is at the time, right? Like when you're right there at the moment, it's like it's just not a thought in your mind that comes up, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is I think a lot of it is that like when you think of like a lot of other mangakas, right? Sometimes there's like the warning signs, like you know that these guys are already in fairly bad health, right? But you never really got that impression with Toriyama,
Yeah,
just because like you know Dragon Ball's done and he gets a lot more help than let's say others do, right? Like for example, like Dragon Ball Super, he no longer was an illustrator for it, right? Or a lot of the other stuff, right? He was probably much just more on the creative side. So and again, like that kind of backs up to like how he went. It wasn't necessarily from bad health. It was just like a very, very, very bad, just honestly bad luck.
he was.
So yeah, so it's like yeah,
It's kind of it's. I think another thing that bothered me, just surprises me, is just the fact that like, man, this was there's a lot of mangaka infamous for like their bad health. I think Togashi probably being primary.
oh yeah,
Like if there's someone who I can like definitively say like that's a dude who's down bad, it's the dude who's down bad. Um,
yeah,
there's a dude who's just in rather poor health in general. I think Togashi is a premier example of that.
yeah. It's weird too because like when Mira died, everyone's looking at Tagashi and it's like, oh, Tagashi's next. And then the Yu-Gi-Oh guy died, and now it's Toriyama, and then that settlement's even like stronger now. Where again, people are looking at Tagashi as like, yo, with him.
Ah, fuck.
Now, excuse me if I'm wrong, though. With Tagashi, isn't it mainly his back? It's he has chronic back pain, right?
He has chronic back pain, but I think he has just general like pain or like weakness in general, right?
I thought it was he had like severe back pain to the point where like he just can barely move.
I heard that was one thing, but I think he had just general like immune problems as well.
Mm, okay.
Which I feel bad because it's like, I mean, I'm not saying Togashi didn't work hard, but it's just I wondered like how overworked was he compared to other people? Or maybe he was just a more sensitive individual in itself in himself because like Yu Hakusho's ending was infamous in the fact that like he had a breakdown when he made it.
He had a breakdown.
Yeah, he had a breakdown when he was making Yu Yu Hakusho.
Wait, why? What happened?
Just I think he was just fed up with his general situation in real life, right?
Mm.
Right?
Yeah, no.
It's I don't want to say it's such a shame, but like it is, right? Um,
Hello.
yeah, I'm just sorry. We're sorry. I apologize to the audience. It's just this is a bit different for an episode because usually we would have a lot to say, but this one's just emotionally. It's kind of heavy, right? It's kind of heavy.
Oh yeah. No. Well, like I said, like yesterday, I was looking at the stuff. I, you know, reminiscing. My head started hurting, and I was just like, nah. My energy just wasn't for it.
Yeah.
Because yeah,
I think one thing I would like to add about that in general was let's see.
yeah. I'm looking at Tagashi. So yeah, apparently, yeah, his main issue is just chronic back pain,
I,
which is extremely immobilizing. But
uh,
outside of that, it seems like he's okay. But yeah, I've seen people with chronic back pain. You basically live your whole life in pain.
yeah, I was
So
gonna say that doesn't make your life longer by any metric, but I suppose it would be
well, I don't think your life, the length of your life, uh, necessarily diminishes, but your quality of life is extremely impacted.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he had immune problems though, like just general immune disorders.
No, it's pretty. Apparently, it's all physical.
Physical.
Yeah.
Can't say much about that.
Yep. He struggles with lower back and hip problems. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I don't know.
I think we're gonna probably move on from this topic
Yeah.
because there's not much else I can add about it. It's just I would like to write an essay, but like I think I'm just a little bit too put down by it, right?
Oh yeah. No, I
Um,
know.
I guess there's one thing we could say is well, no one's gonna forget Toriyama as far as I can say, right? His work is monumental, it's influential. I'm just wondering how some things are gonna move on without him, right?
Um. Yeah. No, that's. Uh. Yeah, because he like they said, he had a lot of stuff in the works. And what like is there anything in particular you're thinking about?
I mean, there's like Dragon Quest. What's Dragon Quest gonna do without him, right?
I he's just the is he just the illustrator or the character designer?
He's both.
From my understanding, he has like I'm pretty sure he has like an apprentice that does
Yeah.
his illustrations now. So I don't know, maybe he takes over for that, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to be a slow process.
Yeah.
In terms of things like necessarily like moving on without him. Um, and hopefully, things will be okay. I don't know. Anything else on the social?
No, I can't say much else about that. I think we should move
Yeah,
on to something a little bit more lighthearted. Other top,
lighthearted.
I mean, lighthearted, but more straightforward. More things we can inject into this one. This is more personal, I'd say in
Yeah,
general. I think it was worth the obligatory mention because, yeah, I mean, it's Toriyama, right? Dude's a name for a reason, right?
yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
On a lighter note, the game industry is dying.
What? Hallelujah?
Is it dying though?
I think mainstream AAA stuff is suffering right now.
Mm,
Is my pet theory, because there's always stories about gaming's dying, right? And
yeah, I don't know. I guess my problem when a lot of people talk about like gaming dying too is usually this is just coming from like a lot of this is generally anecdotal, right? It's not coming from like statistics or anything. It's purely just their own feelings, right? I think the problem is that people take them being less satisfied with the state of gaming and equating that to gaming itself dying, right? And you could also argue maybe the quality of gaming has gone down, but I also think that is very hard to argue. It's a very blanket statement, right? Especially when you're talking about mainstream, right? Because I think a lot of times, and the problem when people say mainstream gaming, they're talking specifically about a few Western companies, which although they might be the bigger companies or biggest companies, they're not the only companies on that level. Um, so I think it's not super black and white, in my opinion.
yeah,
Yo, just
I'm listening. Tell me more.
oh, I already said.
Okay. Oh yeah. I guess there's one thing I could definitely say is the fact that I mean, there's layoffs happening. There's a lot of like upheaval going on. There seems to be a new civil war brewing.
I'm still confused about the Civil War.
Because like apparently like God, I don't even want to. How the fuck do you even explain this sweet baby? That's one thing against it. I mean, there are things to say. It's like the fact that like the PS5 is kind of like the next gen consoles are kind of joking the fact that like there's no exclusives. Um, why the hell are we just not playing on PC at this point?
I saw something recently about that. Yeah, I'll bring that up. Because I think it's a weird take, right?
You think so?
Um, I'll explain. So recently, Final Fantasy Rebirth. Apparently, the sales for Japan aren't as high as some people expected. I
Yeah, they're
actually
kind
didn't
of.
see the numbers.
I even think it was like
Uh,
it wasn't high as I thought
what
it'd
were
be.
the numbers?
I think like 300K, maybe 200, like mid 200K.
Really? Wait, let me
Ye
see.
Yeah, that's what I saw some figures, but mind you, that's some guy quoting them randomly. I was thinking to myself, that's too low. I don't accept this. I do not accept this.
Okay, yeah. So Rebirth sold 263 units in Japan. Um, which are saying they're quoting as still a respectable number, but not as much as remake. So
Yeah.
this is what I wanted to say because this is something that is relatively normal, and I'll explain. I'll explain. So
You better
I
not
think
joke.
the problem is, and I'll say one other thing that I saw before I get into this. Um, Someone was saying it would have sold more if it was on PC. And although, yes, it would, but it also probably wouldn't sell as much as someone might think, just because if you know anything about Japan and gaming, console sales still tend to dominate that market,
Yeah.
right? So you might throw in legitimately if this is at 263K, you might throw in an extra like 30 to 40,000, right? PC sales weren't going to go up. Um, so my sales expectations for Rebirth, I expected it to be lower than remake. And my reason for it is when you look at Final Fantasy VII remake or Rebirth or whatever it is, um, it is one a game that's already come out, and it's something that we already know is going to come out in three parts. Now, if you start a series, and you could look at this from a lot of things, if you look at a lot of shows or a lot of stuff, some of their peak numbers come from pilots, right? If you are not bought in from the first thing or the initial point, then you should always expect a drop off for the second one, right?
Yeah.
I look at this a lot of times on YouTube series, right? There's one series I was looking at. I think it was a Xenoblade series. First video has 53 million views or something like
Yeah.
that. It was like 50 plus million views. It's like a um, Xenoblade 1 Let's Play. Second one has like 17. Third one has like 2. But if you look at the whole playlist, it's still in that relatively 2 million point. And the reason is, and this is one thing I would say, is that the reality is out of the people who played remake, you're going to have a large number of people who don't play it. Who no, out of the large number of people who played remake, you're going to have a lot of people who don't plan on playing it till all the games are out. Right? I've had friends who said that. You have a large amount of people who just is not that into it. Right? Um. So at least for me, I naturally did expect the numbers to be lower. I didn't expect 263,000 though. I was probably expecting closer to like 400,000.
Yeah.
But yeah, but in terms of remake was super hyped up. It was a remake of a legendary game. But at this point, people who've already played remake or know about it, you're not going to get as many people jumping into the second installment because that just never really happens, right? Especially since it's not even just like a second installment. This is a part two of the same game. Um, what are your thoughts? Or we could debate it too. I don't mind that too.
We could debate it, but like I think overall, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I was shocked because I thought this game was gonna be like a big success, right? Uh, just frankly speaking, like I didn't expect it to be doing mid things right here. You know what I mean? And it's not like it's a bad game, but like I expected gangbusters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, for the Japanese market, 263 isn't that bad,
But
to be
this is,
honest.
but yeah, yeah, but this is supposed to be gangbusters. You know what I mean? This is supposed to be making the money.
Yeah, but again, in my opinion, again, this is a part two to something, right?
Yeah,
you very rarely find that the second part succeeds the first in terms of like sales, in terms of eyes, right? You're gonna get your install base, and you're gonna get people who try for the first time, and you're gonna have a lot of people who just don't play it, right? And here's the thing, and this is always one thing I would always be interested in. When Rebirth came out, I would like to see the trend of the amount of people who went back to play or purchase Remake,
Yeah.
right?
I ain't gonna be fronting. I think that's yeah. See, would you make a good point about install? What the fuck? You make a good point about install bases, but at the same time, I'm confused to myself. I'm a bit baffled to myself that like this all happened like this, right? You know what I mean?
200 and we'll just say 250K. Um, yeah, it's like I said, it's lower than I expected, but it's also not as bad as I would expect too. Um, like what what would you say is like the best way to look at it then? Because at least from my point of view, when Final Fantasy VII remake, when that got announced, that was super hype. That took a long time, right? Because that
Oh, it
got announced in
was
2013. That took a long time to come to fruition. Took 7 years, right? The game finally comes out, and people who played it either enjoyed it or didn't enjoy it, right?
yeah,
Rebirth comes out, the difference, and there's a few difference with the game, right? One was on the PS4, which again obviously had a much larger install base currently than the PS5. Two, again, I think a lot of the people who played Remake, you're going to have a lot of people who are going to even decide if they want to play it or not. Um, and again, it's a part two. Like, I guess for me, because I've seen this effect happen for so many things where you don't see like um I guess my best way to put it is that it's not like this is Final Fantasy 7 2. This is literally just Final Fantasy 7 part 2. I don't know.
yeah. Okay, I mean, I guess a good example is like we look at something like Indiana Jones. Why the fuck did I go to Indiana Jones? But you look at like sequels. It's like Indiana. Like okay, actually, let's do it Star Wars because can't escape Star
Okay.
Wars. Sales figures. Because like Empire Strikes Back was like okay, critically, yeah, it was a darling, right?
Yeah.
Well, I need Star Wars sales figures, you bums. Um, this is all worthless. Thank you for drowning me with data. Thank you for drowning me with data. I hate you. I hate you. I honestly hate you. Useless. Uh, Star Wars. You know, you know what? You know, AI killed. Stop responding. You know, AI killed. How do you say it? AI killed search results. Not because AI was better. It's just because AI would just is just making search results and aggregators just infinitely worse.
Mm.
So you have no choice to just directly go to the AI. But okay, let's see. Global. I need per movie. Okay, here we go. Phenomenal. Okay, $775 million worldwide. Return of the Jedi. Okay. Okay, Empire Strikes Back is 547. Okay, you're right. Yeah, you're making a good point.
I know my
Dude,
numbers.
Phantom Menace is a bill globally? Jesus. Attack of the Clones 653, but Revenge of the Sith was 848.
Mm.
So it doesn't always necessarily have to go down,
It doesn't. So it doesn't always have to go down. But
but it
what I'm
usually
trying to get
does.
at, yeah, what I'm trying to get at is that you will get your initial install base, right? You're gonna have people who try a product. My good example is this: if you put a product out in Costco, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's trying it. Everyone's trying to sample, and then you make a new product, but there's no sample, right? The people who liked your product and bought it, you gotta. Let's say you get a. Let's say you get like. Let's say you put a product on Costco, you get 100,000 sales in a year, right? A lot of people like this thing. Then you put out a new product, a new recipe, right? But it's different. Maybe the Costco thing is a good example. But right now, what I'm doing is I'm looking at previous sale weeks for games in Japan, and I don't know if it matters, but for the year, um, FF7 Rebirth is the highest selling, fastest selling, and highest selling game in Japan by like a 2 times mark. But I guess it would be expected. I don't know what else has come out here. So like Persona first week Japan sold 117K. Spider Man sold uh
What?
Spider Man sold 57K
That's it?
on Japan in Japan.
Oh, okay. Is the
It
Japanese is Japan just dying on every front? Because it feels like there's nothing going on, man.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that Japan doesn't usually have crazy sale numbers for video games
Yeah.
because the problem is we're looking at the problem is we look at when we usually look at gaming sales, we're looking at them at a global number, right? In Japan, if you look at most gaming sales, you're lucky to see over 100,000. The only time we see game sales hit the million is Pokemon. That's pretty much
Okay.
it.
Fair.
That's literally it, right? And that's what I always say is like sometimes people make things seem worse than it is, and this is what I'm trying to say with Final Fantasy VII Remake that sold 700,000. That is a lot. That's probably the highest selling, and I could be wrong. It probably is the highest selling Final Fantasy game for Japan in 1 week. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Let me check actually. So another thing I'm seeing says that the first week sales is 336,000 for Rebirth.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm seeing different numbers. Um,
As you were saying.
I'm trying to find what was like the fastest selling Final Fantasy game first week. Okay, here it is.
Fastest
Here
selling
it is.
Final
Here it
Fantasy game. I don't know. Maybe the original.
is. Okay.
Okay, it's not like a
So
jackass.
okay. I'm gonna go through. I want to say this list is crazy.
This is this.
Let me just say this. I found the list. I found the list. This is the first week sales, right? And you're gonna notice there's something wrong with this list.
If I hear
And I
something stupid like Crisis Core, okay, no, Crisis Core is not a bad
no
game.
no 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 no. I'm gonna say the consoles, and you're gonna realize we're looking at the wrong generation. Fastest selling game in Japan history is Pokemon Black and White for the Nintendo DS, 2.6 million. Number two, Final Fantasy VII for the PlayStation 1,
What's going on here?
2.5. Dragon Quest 9, DS. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but the last game, the last game on a console that sold over 1 million, that's older than the PlayStation 2, is Final Fantasy 13 for the PS3. The era of there has not been another game since the PS4 that has sold over 1 million copies in Japan in its first week since the PlayStation 3.
We're in a different era.
Yeah.
Times have changed.
Yeah. Yep. Oh wait. Did I say Final Fantasy 7? Never mind. Uh Final number 2 is Final Fantasy 8.
Oh,
First week sales were the highest for the
okay.
PlayStation 1 and number 2 in Japan.
Okay, I know why that is, but at the same time, the fact that it's 8 is kind of funny to me. You know, we need an FF8 remake. I'm joking.
So this one goes through consoles. Okay, so in PS4, there was one game, Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter World sold 1.3 first week. Number 4 is Final Fantasy 7 Remake.
Interesting.
And number 5 is Kingdom Hearts.
The original?
It just says Kingdom Hearts. It doesn't tell me. I'm assuming it's 3 because it says PS4. But I guess it could also be the
2.5.
the remix. I doubt it. I assume it's Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
So
Moon or Sand.
at least looking at this,
Yeah.
yeah, at least looking at this, and you know what's funny? They don't even have a number for a remake. They just say it's remake. Like I'll show you the list right
It's just
now.
it's just a cumulative product. I think
It's
the
just,
word of mouth. I think
it just says remake. Mind you, this is the only thing on the list that does not have a number. It just says remake.
what is going on here, dude? I mean, to be fair,
Damn,
there's only one remake on the PS4 alone.
Yeah. But this is first week sales. This is first week sales.
You know, I think though, I don't think FF7 Rebirth is completely dead. To be fair, I think it's gonna have a good word. People are like really out here shouting out this game, saying like, "Oh, this game's amazing, this is phenomenal." I've heard people saying, "You know, this is the Kingdom Hearts 2 of Final Fantasy."
No. Here's my thing with.
I'm surprised you didn't call me out
Rebirth.
I'm surprised you didn't call me out on my goofy statement.
No. But what I'm going to say, here's my thing with Rebirth is that again, my point is that this is not another Final Fantasy like number title,
Yeah.
right? What this is a part 2 to a continuation of a game that people got. And you're going to have a large amount of people
Dropping
who
off.
played Remake who don't want to play Rebirth. And you're going to have a lot of people who don't want to play Rebirth because they never played Remake.
Yeah.
Right? So, and this is why I say, like, you have to, if you want to look at numbers, if you're a business, you have to be like, okay, now that Rebirth comes out, let's look at our Remake sales. Because I guarantee you, Remake is probably shot up like 200% because you're going to have people who are like, oh, let me get, Final Fantasy Remake to, bring that up a bit. But like I said, Final Fantasy and a lot of these games have the advantage that these are completely fresh games, different cast, new people, new story. This Rebirth doesn't have that luxury, right?
16 didn't have a new
Rebirth?
16 only just had one main character.
Just had a guy.
Just had a dude, a British man.
But yeah, Rebirth doesn't have that. Like I'm not trying to sound like a shell though. I'm just trying to say, to me, the numbers kind of make sense. When I look at it, the numbers kind of make sense, right? You can't expect a Rebirth to sell more than Remake because they are literally the same game and it's a part to a story. And a lot of people who want to play Rebirth are probably not going to be satisfied with the small little, this is the story so far. And you also have a large amount of people who are waiting for the whole thing to be released before they can play it all. So that's my view on Rebirth. And again, I want people to also remember this is just a Japanese sale. And I also have a lot of friends who are waiting to get this game on PC, right? When Remake came out, it took around, 4 years for it to, no, maybe 3 years, 2 to 3 years before it got its PC release. We're getting Rebirth's PC release this year, and you have a large amount of people who are waiting for that, right? Because it's funny too, because like people always make fun of like PlayStation not having exclusives, and then when it finally has an exclusive, people are like, "Oh man, they should have released it on PC." Release things are they say exclusives are dead.
I
So
think
I don't know.
I think some people saying it's because like because Sony kind of abandoned Japan. They say it's like, oh, Sony Japan shut down, right? Was like one argument I heard, which I don't know how true that is.
No, it's not true at all.
I mean, Sony did move to America. Their headquarters are in the States now. To be fair, that's where the money's also at.
Yeah, like I said, my at least my point and why the sales are lower. You, it's a game that is just a part two of another game, and you're gonna have a drop off. A drop off should be expected, right? Um, it's not, again, it's not a number, because like again, it's not a sequel of Final Fantasy VII. It's a part two, which is very different. You know what I mean? It's not like you beat this game and then the cast is like a couple years older, new story, new villain. It's not that.
Just a
So
continuation.
it's literally just a continuation, and that's my point of view. But yeah, but yeah, if there's something you think I'm wrong about, let me hear it. Let me hear it.
I don't think you're wrong. I think you just have a better perspective on it. I'm just an observator. Observator.
Dude, I'm looking at the PS Vita's like first week sales in Japan, and this is crazy. I'm not even gonna lie. The
Dude,
PS Vita, the PS Vita's hype games need to be studied.
how bad the damage at?
Imagine these are the goats of the PS Vita.
Oh, you got post this dog.
I posted it.
Let's see this.
These are the goats.
Hatsune Miku, Project Diva F. Nah, this is an F, bro. F in chat, dude. No, God Eater was never good.
Dude, they got that.
They're
They
just
they
all
had
Monster Hunter clones.
hey,
Okay.
look, that's what I said. The PS Vita looking like a knockoff console. I'm not even gonna
Dude.
lie.
Okay, Freedom Wars was what was Freedom Wars again? I forget. Do you remember?
No, I don't know.
Oh, it's just another Monster Hunter clone.
You know
Dude.
what's crazy? I feel like some games that included a free PS Vita version didn't get counted in this.
No, they don't. I don't think like Wii Sports is counted in terms of sales.
Oh, it is. Isn't Wii Sports considered one of the best selling games in history?
Because it's sold with the Switch every time.
Yeah.
That's by proxy though, not just on its own merit.
Fair. Dude, on the PSP, dude, Monster Hunter ran shit. I'm not even gonna lie.
To be fair, it's a portable PlayStation. I'm surprised it's not just fucking.
No, but like,
It makes sense actually.
what happened with fucking Monster Hunter 3? Their ad campaign had to be crazy. I'm also surprised Type Zero is that high.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah,
Okay,
that's
the
those are my thoughts.
mans can't say anything about that. It's just what it is, right?
Yeah, but yeah, that's my thoughts. That's my thoughts.
Let's go. Now, I will say one thing though. I am slow today. I am shot. I am exhausted for some reason, but it's I actually want to play this game because it looks like it's really good. And mind you, I had the audience don't know, but I have a whole essay ranting about how I think this game is dishonoring the legacy of the original, and then I want to go play the sequel, the sequel to the remake to fuck. It's not even a pro. What is this game?
Wait, what's wrong?
So I'm having a bit of a meltdown right now. I'm having an episode, right? I'm like Stephen A. Smith. I'm just in a corner screaming. No, but FF7 Rebirth, man. I kind of
Mhm.
wanted it to succeed because I think this game does seem to be a very quality title. I think in the long run it will. I think it will make its money, maybe even more. It
like
might actually do better
like
than the original.
I don't think it's gonna do better than the original.
I think it can.
I don't think it. I don't think it's possible.
I think its critical reception will be far better.
Again, my reason why it shouldn't do better than the original, nor for can't, is because I guarantee you 80% of the people who are playing Rebirth, maybe 90% of the people who played Rebirth, have played Remake.
Yeah.
But probably less than like 60, maybe 50% of the people who played Remake are going to play Rebirth.
Mm,
And when the part 3 comes out, it's going to be the same thing. When part 3 comes out, you're going to have like 30% of people who played Remake, Rebirth, and part 3. And you're going to have, it's just going to be the same cycle. It's going to be a down trickle, right? Because again, it's very hard, and you don't see it. It's like this: if you wanted to watch, what's a good example? It's like watching Avengers, but starting with Endgame.
it's not that bad.
It doesn't make sense though.
It don't,
It,
and you're not going to start that way. And to be fair, okay, I don't know how much plot really happened in between FF. Well, how much plot did FF remake really have?
uh, I'll say this: if you play Rebirth right now, you'd be super fucking confused about who these people are. Because you
Like
literally start off like you literally start off with a full team. You have Red 13, Barrett,
my
Tifa,
man,
and Eris, right? And you have to, and here's the thing: in this game, you have like a friendship meter, and they start asking you questions to the point where it's like, if you do not know these characters, you will 100% get these questions wrong. So you are at a severe disadvantage not playing remake. Like the first time you talk to no, the second time you talk to Tifa, um I guess you get a little hint, but the second time you talk to Tifa in Rebirth, she asks you, "Hey, what does this remind you of?" And it's a question about Nidalheim. How the fuck are you going to get this question right without context? Because if you get it wrong, you lose favor with her.
that's annoying.
No, but the thing is, and it's like you say it's annoying, but again, this is a part 2. This is not a sequel. This is literally an extension
Are you
of
sure they're
something
not
else.
relying on information from like other spin-offs from the FF universe?
No.
Because I'm thinking
What
myself, I
what I'm saying is you are literally you are very much expected to know these characters based on the events of Remake. And if you didn't play Remake, then these people literally mean nothing to you. You have no context about Eris. You have no context about Tifa, Barrett, or Red 13. At least at the point I am at the game, right? So when character development starts picking up, it's going to be with the presumption that you've already met other characters, such as like, Barrett's daughter or Eris's mom, or what happened with Tifa's dad, or more context with Sephiroth, right? A lot of these things, and you might think it's annoying, but again, this is a part two, right? This is not a sequel where they can kind of get away with it. They do a little bit, and what they do is this: they play you a trailer, and it's called The Story So Far. This thing's only like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That's it. You're not going to know a lot of stuff that happens or a lot of context that happens, and that's what I mean. Like there was a quest. There's a quest in the game where you go to a chocobo farm and they talk about a character in Final Fantasy VII Remake that you've not met yet in Rebirth, right? But it's not important to the quest. But I'm just saying, there's so much context that they just assumed you played Remake,
Is
right?
this just so you could who you're gonna date at the gold saucer though? This relationship mechanic.
Uh, Maybe, but I'm talking about quest now. I'm talking about just quest now at this point. Like this has nothing to do with the relationship. I'm just saying there's so much context from Remake that if you didn't play Remake, then I feel like you'd be very lost in Rebirth. I'm not saying you can't still have a fun time playing Rebirth, but I'm trying to say it's just it's just like there's just not really a point in my opinion. I think if to fully enjoy Rebirth, you kind of need to play Remake. And again, that goes into the reason why I don't think Rebirth is ever going to sell as well as Remake. I think it's impossible.
Do you?
And the same thing is going to happen with 3.
Hmm. What do you think about the quality of the title itself, though? Just in your opinion, just on that alone. I mean, have you played it yet or not?
It's Oh yeah, I told you I was playing it. It's good. It's really 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 good.
Did you say it's a leap up compared to the first title?
That would be an understatement.
Really?
I this game literally feels like I don't even know how to describe it. They when I played this game and I'm thinking of how long it took them to make Remake, I'm like, how did they make Rebirth so fast? The quality of this game is insane. What it shows me is that we have nearly perfected the open world genre.
That's okay.
I think we 80% there. But it is insane. The like the game flow is good. The combat system has elevated significantly. It's significantly more dynamic. Like that's probably one of my favorite parts about like just what's changed. Like I know I'm only scratching like the surface, but like the combat has actually elevated so much. Like I am beyond impressed.
I'm
Like
well, shit. Maybe I want to play it now.
dude, you can like perfect counter and get special stuff. You have like moves that are outside your command normal, so you don't have to rely on it. The Matera system is really cool. Crafting in the game is like done really, 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 really well, right? There's been you could tell there's been a level of execution and care, and it feels like there's been quality of life that we didn't even ask for. Um, Again, from the combat interactions to the writing to the gameplay to the how the game just feels to play. There's just been so many things that I've been impressed with that, like, again, I can't say anything negative about this game, in my opinion. It's just really, 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 really well executed. Mind you, I'm only in the second region. I'm only in Junon.
Yeah, that's where
But
you meet Yuffie, right?
yeah, that's where you meet. I played the demo, because you get something.
I was gonna
But
say,
yeah, no,
is your original FF knowledge gonna come in handy, or is it not even gonna matter here?
it's not gonna matter. But yeah, again, my point of view. Again, my point of view. Rebirth and Remake, they are two different fucking games. Remake is a hallway simulator. Rebirth is fully open world that feels super smartly designed. There's a lot of hidden stuff. There's a lot of cool interactions with the environment. I like what they did with the chocobos, and that's one thing I do really, really appreciate is that you get the chocobos so early to the point where I'm just like, because like a lot of games, you get your mount later. They make you walk everywhere first. They put you right into the action. You get your chocobos. You can start going around doing stuff, and yeah.
Okay. Oh man, too bad I have nothing to play it on. I can't play this on anything. I don't have any. I have nothing to play it on.
Yeah. Let's.
I'm up here playing Morrowind for the first time, and you're out here playing like, and I'm thinking like, man, this game's kind of jank. And then you're sure like, wow, this game's wonderfully designed, great.
I've only ever seen one glitch, and what happened was I was walking up a hill with the chocobo. Like the chocobo was climbing up a mountain, and then for some reason the textures like went away for like a second and then came back. That's the only glitch I ran into.
Okay,
Yo,
man, you can't do this to me, man.
I guess that's one thing we could also say. I guess in terms of I guess in favor of Rebirth, it is on the PlayStation 5, which still has a very small install base.
That's another big fact. Yeah, the install base is pretty small.
Yeah.
I think this game's gonna be fine though. I mean, it's FF7. I think when the whole trilogy is gonna come out, I think everyone's gonna go through and like actually give these games a fair shake, and it's gonna see the sales improve. I mean,
Yeah,
I've seen nothing but love for this game, which is rare.
well, that's what I mean. Like, I think again, people are looking at the Japanese sales. I think the global sales are still going to be really good. I also, and again, and I also want to point out these sales are not bad in Japanese standards. These are really good sales in Japanese standards,
Yeah.
especially if we're looking at recent years. But again, I also think one thing to at least pay attention to with this game as well is this game is going to get a PC release relatively soon in like the next 4 months, right? I think like after May into June or July, it should get a PC release. A lot of people are waiting for that, and a lot of people are, you know, so that's why I say like people are. I don't think people need to be worried. I don't even think Square Enix themselves are worried. I think they know that this game is going to do perfectly
It's
fine.
the fans that are worried more than anything, I think, which is funny.
Worried about what?
It's the fact that like good quality title like this is the first time in a while, and they're worried that Square is going to see the low sales numbers, and then be like, "Oh, I guess we got to pull the plug on this."
No, but like, look, I here's the thing, and I think we need to realize this: these companies aren't stupid. They know the numbers, and they have numbers that they are going to expect. If you generally think that Square Enix believed that Remake was going to sell less than Rebirth, you'd have to be insane. You'd have to be fucking insane. It doesn't even like make sense. Like, and that's why I said you can look at different examples. You can look at films. You can look at things. Rebirth is not in a situation to flourish.
Yeah.
Remake is what you grab people, and like I said, what's going on with Square Enix? Because people, like you said, people are worried about the sales number. If you look at the sales of Remake, I guarantee you it has gone up about like 2, 3, 400% in the last month
Yeah.
from
To
the
compensate.
week before. Yeah, because people want to play Rebirth. They're gonna, oh, let me play Remake first, right? In fact, and this is one thing that was crazy, on PS5, guess what you get when you buy Rebirth online in the
What do you
PSN
get?
store? Remake for free. There's it costs the same amount as Rebirth, and
Yeah.
you get a dual pack that gives you Remake for free with Intergrade. So they're already pushing you to play it. There's no reason not to play it. So you're buying it on the only console it's available for, and if you buy it through the PSN store, you get Remake for free with Intergrade. And that's why I'm trying to say again, where I'm like, you would literally have no excuse not to play Remake
Yeah.
because they give it to you for free.
It's very accessible.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say is like it's impossible for Rebirth to outsell Remake. It just doesn't make sense. But like again, I think it's going to do perfectly fine. I think it has all the advantages it needs. I think
Yeah.
once PC comes out, I think global sales are also going to be relatively high. Um, I think by the end of the year, it's probably going to sell around maybe around 2 million copies. I think I want to say 4 million. I think with PC and everything, I would say maybe 4 million. I'm expecting it to sell more on PC than on PS5, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I think I'm guessing between 2.5 and 4 million copies by the end of the year.
Okay.
That's my expectations for it.
I guess gaming isn't dead, gamers.
Given that, yeah, like look, I have a question. Persona sold around 100K in Japan, but it was the fastest selling Atlas game in history and sold 1 million copies first week. But Final Fantasy VII Rebirth sold like 2.5 times that. Do we really think it's going to be a low selling game?
No, but it's just, I guess, initial assessments is what spooked people.
Yeah, but I think you have to. I think you would have to look at it in one way, and I think if you look at it from multiple angles and from a bigger picture, and again from like a business perspective, you're like, oh, it's not that bad. These should be the numbers they're expected. I still believe they're a little bit lower. I was probably expecting closer to like 400K personally, right? Which would be around 370K lower than remake. So I do agree on that assessment that I do think it is a little bit low, but I'm also know that it's getting a very it's gonna PC release a lot closer than remake did, and I think that's also pushing a lot of people to wait for PC. Like I would say almost every one of my friends are going to get it for PC because I outside of me and like two other friends, no one else, even the ones who had PS5s, are just planning to get it for PC. So that's why I do expect the PC sales to be a lot more higher, and maybe people can revisit the sales when that drops. But I don't know.
Okay. I can't be saying I ain't down that.
Yeah, like, I'm just trying not to sound like a shell, man. I'm just being like, yo, to me the
No,
numbers make sense, but
I mean, if you're not a shell, you're just being straight up with it. It's all facts, no fiction. Yo, that's actually bars.
all facts, no fit. Yo, damn, I didn't know you became a rapper.
I don't know. I didn't know I was a rapper either. Can't wait to drop my hit release album.
What's it gonna be called?
Fight
Come
for the
on.
future.
That's the album name?
No, because I was looking at, I don't know, yeah, Fight for the Future. That's the name.
Damn.
I don't think there's much else to say today. I mean, like I said, I wanted to avoid the Street Baby story because like that's a headache to explain it, and there's better people to explain it. Although it feels people joking like there's gonna be another gamer civil war. I said, good, sure, why not? Let's spice things up. Spice things up. Why don't we?
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but my friend's like, yeah, bro, who cares? Just indie games. I'm like, yeah, why indie games? You know, the Japanese Renaissance is it's pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. Something happened in 20 like when the PS4 generation hit. Japan was like, you know, that generation before us was dark. It was dark times, darkness. But we're gonna come back stronger and better than ever.
Yep. I mean,
I think that's what
it,
led to like the JRPG boom of like last recently.
dude, last month was crazy. We had Like a Dragon. Or what's it called? Infinite Dragon?
No, like a dragon, infinite wealth, or
Yeah, Like
Yakuza
a
8.
Dragon Infinite Wealth, where you have to pay the deluxe to get New Game
No,
Plus.
no, it's
Um,
like a dragon 8, or
um,
like a dragon Yakuza 8.
right. We had Relink, Grand Blue Relink. We had
That game
Persona
was
3 Reloaded and Final Fantasy Rebirth all in the same month.
dude. Game
February is insane. It
weebs,
happened when Elder Ring came out too. There were so many games that came out in February.
weebs are eating, man. That's all I gotta say. Like West Taboos get blown out.
Oh, no.
West Taboos get blown out. Take that, West Taboos. You know, people be like, "Oh, weeb games suck." And to be fair, Japan's still whack. I ain't gonna lie, the Japan ain't whack half the time, but like sometimes when they do hit, they hit.
Wait. Aren't am I
Actually,
am
didn't
I
Street Fighter didn't Street Fighter 6 came out like a month, like 2 months ago, or was it last month?
Street Fighter 6? They came out last year.
Oh, I'm crazy then.
Tekken came out last month.
Tekken, my bad, bro.
Also, Tekken sold in. So Tekken is actually really interesting because Tekken 8 actually sold like a mil more than Tekken 7 in half the time.
I mean,
I think
good.
in 1 month Tekken 7 sold like 2 million copies, and in the first 2 weeks Tekken 8 sold like 3 million. So honestly, the fighting game genre, their numbers are starting to get insane. And I'm happy about that too. That's why I say when people say gaming is dying, I'm like, no, that maybe this area is dying, but our area, my area, fighting games, JRPG, all these other games,
We
they're
live in.
thriving.
We're thriving. Yeah.
The
I mean,
money is coming in.
niche titles like Nier, for example, was like considered super niche because it was part of the yeah. But then like Nier Automata was a big hit. Like it seems like a lot of like Persona 4 was nice, but then P5 blew up, right?
Yeah,
It
P5 blew
just
up, and P5 was also like a really niche game for
for yeah
what it
for
is.
you know Yakuza blew up with Yakuza 0. And then I think then like it kind of re-blew up with Yakuza 7.
Yeah.
So it's kind of strange seeing how the trend and the times are changing. It
Uh,
seems like the dark ages of the PS3 slash 360 era for Japan are long in the rear view mirror. Phil,
I, I
sorry, you
I
saying?
was gonna say I think what it is just like some randomly anime became like really cool, and a lot of Japanese things people were like, oh shit, let me give this a try.
Nah, Japan's still whack though. I ain't gonna lie.
Japan has this weird thing. I forgot what it was called, but it was like their whole "Make Japan Cool" bill or something, where they're actually trying to make like Japan be like really really cool place or something.
No one's gonna move there. That country's not there to move to or
No,
live
it's not
to.
for them to move. It's for the how much people like Japan around the globe or something.
Yeah, just
Mhm.
for like media. It's so weird. Like Japanese companies are like, yeah, we kind of are like Japan used to have an insanely strong domestic market, but now that like people don't have money or that they're getting old, They can't support their domestic markets by themselves anymore. So they're relying on everyone else to become
Oh
shut-ins
yeah,
and weebs. They're requiring everyone else to become the losers.
Japan legitimately can't survive without without tourism. They actually can't.
No, they can't actually, you know.
Their
Uh,
economy would be fucked. They cannot survive another pandemic.
no, they would implode. I think a lot of countries would implode.
Yeah, but Japan especially, like when you look at how badly they rely on tourism, it's insane.
Well,
It's
cause like
actually insane.
before they didn't rely so heavily, but it was like after like the new tens, it seemed like they really needed it, especially when things were slowing down on several fronts. Tourism was booming.
Man, imagine at one point they locked out the whole country, and now look at them.
Yeah, no, I think it's true. Still can't fix that kid problems though. They ain't have no kids.
Yeah, but apparently it's worse in Korea now than it is in Japan.
Oh, you know, it's actually worse in Korea. Like I was talking to a Korean man, he's like, "Yeah, man, we closed down universities. That's how bad it is." I was like, "Yo, damn, entire universities are closing down." He's like, "Yeah." I said, "That ain't no way, dog." He's like, "No, no one can have kids here." You know, it's weird. You know, if you want to have kids or not, that's up to you. But like the idea that there's no new blood into a society is somehow depressing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because even if you get old and you turn into an old fart, you could say like, "Well, there's new people around. I mean, if I leave this world, at least whatever my home, my community, it'll be fine. We got new blood, right?"
yeah. This is what I was talking about before, though. This is like a legitimate thing. Where, like
Could
this is
no. Read the Japanese. Read the Japanese, Dante. I know you can. Exactly.
Kuru,
Could Japan.
Kuru Japan.
Could Japan.
Kuru Japan.
Could
But it apparently it started in 1980s because it's literally something. It's by design. Japan wanted themselves to be cool to non-Japanese people, and it's this is an active campaign. So by design, they made themselves like this.
I like how it says this is Wikipedia, so you know it's fake and for fake news. But I like it says after the success of air quotes "Cool Britannia," the Japanese started using the phrase "Cool Japan" is described as a form of soft power. I've never heard of Cool Britannia. I've never thought of England as cool.
Well, that's what I mean, though. Japan is how it is by design, and unfortunately, they have made it so they can't survive without people from other
they
countries spending money.
they can't. They said we can't have immigration. We can't reproduce ourselves, so we're just gonna rely on your money to ride us out until the end of our days.
Yeah.
I'm dead, dude. I'm dead. You
Hey, man,
can't.
it's working. They just,
It,
I guess, hey, they didn't know they didn't know that the pandemic was gonna come and just fuck up their whole economy.
I mean, okay, no, the Olympics and the pandemic together. That
Oh
needed
yeah,
nothing.
that yeah.
That they were, you
They're
know,
still seeing the effects. Have you seen their like dollar?
dude. We should just go to Japan, right? No wonder why you went to Japan. You was probably cheap as. Oh, was it cheap?
It was cheap.
Oh boy, I want to go again and just take advantage of it. You know, it's like actually no, our dollar's shit too. What am I saying?
Yeah, not
It's
as bad as the.
so you're telling me
Yeah,
we're not kangs no more. We're kings.
we're actually kings.
We're actually kings. Uh, you know we, you know instead of you go Kang, it's you go King.
Yeah, so now,
I'm laughing at my friends who all went to Japan literally before the pandemic. Or was it after? And I'm thinking to myself, them property values, everything down. Time for me to swoop on in.
for context, when we went to Japan, I think $1 Canadian was like 87 yen or something,
Yeah, how much is
maybe
it
like
now?
90 something. Now $1 Canadian is 110 yen. It's
It's
up by
also
like,
hmm, that's wild, man. Well, I think that's what it is. We're gonna end it off today. This episode has been quite. Oh, Jesus! Wow, it's quite. Sorry, audience. We went on for a bit long. But we'll just wrap it up here. Thank you, everyone. This has been a wonderful time.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye.